But when you're cutting your backbone and your trace, you want to make sure that your trace is going to be shorter than your backbone. So I mean, often I'll cut the backbone first and then the trace next. So that's well and truly long enough for our backbone. Alright, and just remember to allow for, when you're cutting your line, remember to allow for the knots, because sometimes people will cut it real close because they don't want to waste any line. If you're able to, you know, don't be too sparing, because yeah, the knots can sometimes use a little bit more line than you expected, and if your trace is longer than the backbone, the rig's not effective. So you can still use it, but it defeats the purposes in some ways. So right, I'm going to start at the backbone of the rig. Okay, so first thing I do, impact shield, you slide it up the trace like so. Okay, and then the stopper, or the bit of rubber that goes over the top of it, goes up next. Alright, just like that. And why I do this is, I simply do this part because I want to make sure that when I'm putting the other bits and pieces onto the rig later, this part's already on and secured, because it can be a fiddly piece. And I mean, another little tip, the plastic tubing that goes over, it's designed to be quite snug, so you will find it a little bit of a tricky part to the making of this rig if you go about using these for your rig, but they are designed to be snug, so don't be alarmed or don't be worried about that. They're designed to be that way so that your line can't move up, and it doesn't chafe your line as well, so really cool. Right, so that's now secured like that. That's not going to go anywhere, locked and loaded. And then at the I've used a bright orange tubing so you can see it, but on the tubing end of the impact shield, I'm going to put the genie clip onto the rig. And here is the knot that I'm going to use. So it's just your simple improved uni. So that goes through there like so. 1, 2, 3, 4 times around the main end of the line, through that loop at the bottom. So pull it through and then pinch both I suppose parts of the line there, and then going around the back and threading it so that the line is going in the same direction as what you've made before. 1, 2, 3, here's 4, same amount of turns. Now you should be able to pull that and it just collapses like so. Okay, now lubricate the line. Why do we lubricate line? It just stops the friction from causing chafe along your line, and you do not want chafe. Chafe is not your friend. Okay, so lubricate like so, lock that on. Beautiful. Cut your tag in, slide that down, and that's the bottom part of your rig. Now this part of the rig goes to your sinker, like I was showing you earlier, and then I'll stick a bead down the main line. Why am I putting a bead down the main line? That bead is what's going to help that hook get popped out once it hits the water. So very very handy to have. Some people don't use it. I just find it adds to my hook being popped off. So again, that sits there. I'll tie a piece of waterproof tape up the top here, just because I don't like using crimps. Some people do crimp them. I don't like using crimps on my line where I can help it, but tape there, and that just means the bead's not going to go any further, nothing special. And then when that rig hits the water, that bead's going to pop up here, pop the hook out, and then you're fishing. Okay, so that's why that's there. Now after that will come a swivel, and that just slides down your main line like so. So that's just sitting there, beautiful stuff. And then the clip swivel, so it's just swivel with a clip on the end, okay? And again, same knot, very simple. So 1, 2, 3, 4, coming up. You can use 5 if you like. With thicker line, I like to use 4. Pull that through the loop and going the same direction, 4 turns again, 2, 3, and 4. Hold on, what have I done there? On the wrong one. 4. So pull that tight, it collapses on itself. Lubricate that up. Check your line, check for any chafing. If there is chafe, do the rig again. Last thing you want is the rig to do its job. You hook up on that fish of a lifetime and you get dusted because you took a shortcut. Cut your tag end off like so, and that is the backbone of our rig. Alright, so it's a little bit longer than I usually have it, but sometimes I like a little bit longer trace. So the one I showed you earlier was a shorter trace, so this can be my long trace rig. Yeah, so genie clip, impact shield, bead, sliding swivel. That swivel goes to your main line, so that goes to the rod and reel, and up to a clip swivel. Why clip swivel? So that I can swap and interchange my rigs very quickly and very easily. So that's why you use a clip swivel in the end. So that's the backbone to the rig, and now we're going to get on to the trace. So I'm going to start on the hook side of this rig, pulling it through. Now repetition, I know, but hopefully it'll mean you learn it easier. So it goes through the loop of the hook, the eye of the hook, and you go 1, 2, 3, 4, pull that tag end through the loop you've created, pull that tight, and then the same direction, 1, 2, 3, one more time, 4, pull that up tight, that should sit on itself, and then pull that up like so. Alright, so that's our hook end, that's the business end of the rig. Cut your tag end off, and there you go, that part's set to go. And then from there, you can put your keeper hook. You don't have to have a keeper. You can fix the keeper hook if you like through to your line. Yeah, so then the next part is your keeper hook, alright, and that I let mine slide down, up and down the rig there, and I mean, just for the sake of changing it up right now, we'll add a bit of skirting, or needlefish is another name for these. Alright, so that sits there. Reason why I'm using this particular skirt, I like to target snapper at night, and this just creates a little bit more luminescence on the rig, so glows in the dark. And now I've got 2 different types of traces, which means I'm able to fish 2 different ways and see what's working out there. Right, so this part of the trace here comes to your swivel. Right, so again, put that through the eye of the swivel. 1, 2, 3, 4 times around through the loop you've created, not through the eye of the swivel, but through the loop in the line. Pull that up, and then going in the same direction, 1, 2, 3, 4, same amount of turns. Pull that up. Alright. Lubricate your line. Pull that up tight. Give it a bit of help. you go. Check your line for chafing. That's good to go. Cut your tag end off. And then all you need to do now is check that your trace is longer than the backbone, and if it is, then you're good to go. Okay, yep, so we're set. That one's just made the cut. Just but that there is a ready to go long reach surf rig, long reach pulley rig. Goes by many different names. Very wide range of variation to this rig as well. So look, comment below, add some of your styles or your preferences or your flavors to this this thread as well. And again, sinker on the bottom, and you're set to go. So I'm going to stick that on a bait board, put it in a snap lock bag, and that rig is ready to go fishing. Alright, so hey, look, hopefully that's helped you guys out there. And look, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and the feedback that you guys are giving has been huge, so thank you very much. Hey, get out there, slay them up. Feel free to share to our page, yeah, and get in touch with us. Thank you very much. Take care.